Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. Basically what I do is I take a model kit and I show you how to put it together. If there's any points of interest for you to be aware of, or if there's any horrible casting lines or anything like that, or any bits that you have to clip off the sprue very, very carefully, or if you're cleaning something down, very carefully you have to clean it because it's not the strongest point of contact. And for everyone that has struggles with instructions or have dyslexia, and this is a visual aid to help you guys out. For all my regulars here, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. Right, so these Let's Builds, I haven't done one for a while now because I've been waiting for Imperial magazine to come in. The last ones I did was actually the horrors, which actually 500 views on that video, which is actually bizarre and bonkers, but I'm grateful for that and happy for that. The Imperial magazine should be arriving up within the next week or two. Now, this model I'm building today, I've had him for a good while now, and I was saving him up ready for October, because I am going to build for you guys Zodgrod Wortsnagga. It's a member of the Snakebite clan, if I do memory serves correctly. So as always, the first thing we're going to need the tools: clippers, 100%. I have sanding sponge. I have a scraper, mold line scraper. Some people use a scalpel or a hobby knife. They're just as good. I just prefer this. And as always, the first thing we do is we have a look at the sprue, identify what we have. Obviously that's his head. That looks like his base with his little feet there. There's some more of his hair. Looks like the front of his body. It looks like a backpack. There's a weapon arm. There's a claw. His arm with his little grabber stick. And the other bits and pieces look like they're extra bits. Looks like the bottom of the grabber stick. So there's a base. So the first thing we're going to do is we need number 1 and 2, first of all, which is his body, 1, and number 2 is this little piece here. So I'm going to clip those off, clean them down, and come back to you then. Right, so I've cleaned those 2 bits off. I've dry fitted them, they work perfectly. What I forgot to tell you is, it's a plastic model, so there's plastic glue, but I'm going to be using super glue. Now this part, this is a fiddly part to hold down and clean. But basically there is a little nook there. Okay, just inside there. And that nook, literally there's a little nook just by my thumb there. And that literally just sits in there like that. So essentially makes up his kneecap. Okay, so I'm going to glue those 2 bits together. Right, the next 2 pieces we need, number 6, which is this piece, and number 4, which is this piece. So I'm just taking those 2 pieces, so it's just these 2 pieces next. I'm going to take them off, give them a clean down. Right, so I'll clean those 2 pieces down. This piece is very straightforward. There's 2 little nooks, one here and one up here, and there's 2 little nooks to that side. Just focus, and they literally just dry fit into there. Okay, nice and easy. Now, this is the piece that I'm having a problem with. I'm trying to figure out how it goes. I think it goes something like that, because the arm comes out, and this sort of bit hangs over the top of the arm. But I'm going to glue this backpack on, and then fiddle back with this piece, dry fitting a little bit more, and then I'll come back to you once I've figured it out, glue it on, and show you how it goes. Right, so I haven't figured out that bit yet, but from what I can see on the artwork, it goes above the weapon arm. So what I'm going to do is put the weapon arm together first, glue that on, and then hopefully that should fit in nicely. Now the next piece I need is this piece here, number 5. But what I'm going to do, because this weapon arm needs some assembly, so does the gun. I'm going to snip this off, the claw arm, and the other claw, clean that down, and have that glue sub-assembly on that. So there's 2 little holes there. There's 2 little holes on that one. That goes into there. That's that simple. I'm going to clean that one down first. And there we have it. Nice and easy. So what I'm going to do now is take the gun arm and these little magazine there, clean them down and glue them together again. There's a little hole for that, and it just slots. See, there's a square, there's 2 little holes. The square with 2 little holes, that just slits in there. So I'm going to clean that down and glue them together. Right, so now I'm going to take number 5, which is this piece, give it a clean down, and then snip it off and give it a clean down, and dry fit it. From the looks of it, it's going to be very straightforward, but I'll come back to you when I've cleaned it down. Right, so that's cleaned off. There's a little bit there for me to get to. But this basically just slots on there. Slots in there. I'm going to slot it on just a minute. Let me just clean that, I'll come back to you and glue it. Right, so I've got rid of that little bit. This is my eagerness to try and get the bottle glued and enjoying what I'm doing. So now what I'm going to do is drop some super glue along there, through the little gap here. And then this is going to go over the top there like that. So it sits on there, connects in nicely. Press and hold it for a minute. Just run a little bead of glue along there. Right, so upon examining it, this bit I was having trouble with, actually there's a little nook that sits underneath the hair there. Yeah, and then there's the arm to connect in. But this little delightful piece, the wire at the back of his weapon, connects to that little ball there. So it's a bit of a, I have to dry for a minute. I'm actually going to glue his weapon, his gun arm on, which is fine. Dry fit it first, I think. Right, so the arm just glues in there. Okay, now I say just glues in there. This is the first time I've glued an orc. That looks a little bit wrong to me. It's the first time I've glued an orc together in a very long time. But looking at the artwork, the gun is supposed to be at an angle anyway. So maybe that is right, because his shoulder pad goes over the top and hides that little nook in his arm. Right, leave it to dry for a minute, because the other arm's a pain in the backside. Right, I'm not going to tell you a lie here. This part was the most difficult part so far, because every time I'm trying to glue it on, the first part keeps coming off from the arm. I couldn't figure out how that cloth bit went on to him, even without the arm on there. I just couldn't figure it out. So I'm leaving it to dry for a minute. So when I put it on, it's fully dry. I know this little bit, the wire connects to the ball. I know that, but it's a bit of a pain in the backside. So what I'm going to do now, whilst I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to clip these 3 pieces off. That's his head with the shoulder bit that goes over the gun arm. There's his hair that goes on the front of his forehead, and there's his base that goes on to the big base. So I'm going to snip that off, snip all 3 of these off, clean them down. I'm going to glue this to the actual base itself, and then hopefully that will dry and I can actually come back and just put it on. Right, I very, very closely got to the point of nearly putting that in the bin and saying, go on your merry way, because that's absolutely a nightmare. That's actually worse than the Illuminar, worse than the flayed ones. For a model that I love so much, it's so simple to do, it was just a pain in the backside. Now, I've dropped his front wig somewhere down the front, down on the floor here, the bit that goes at the front, so he hasn't got that. I'd probably give this a difficult rating of a 5, I'd say, because it's such an annoying piece to put together. Now, here's let me show you something really annoying here in the instructions. So the first piece, number 6, sorry for the light, is this piece. Okay, with the snake come down him, just Brilliant. That's a piece of cloth with a snake. Fantastic. It's supposed to go on the front part of the body there. Now, there's nowhere for it to nook onto. There's no little nooks for it to go into. It's all nice and flat. There's a couple of nooks in the back here, which I presume is the arm with the weapon on it. The hair goes in there. Great, fantastic. That goes together. But it doesn't go to the body. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. It's messing around and messing around. Nope. Because bear in mind, you've got to try and line the pipe up at the back, which I haven't even got lined up properly. And the arm here has a waft of hair that's meant to connect to the head, to be part of the head squeak. I've dropped the head, I've dropped this, I've dropped it's just a nightmare. Now, looking at the back of him, on the back of the box, that cloth's meant to be one piece. But it wouldn't sit as one piece, it would sit with a gap. And if you made it so it was one piece, the bottom half of this cloth was hanging over the arm, over the weapon. But it's not doing that there. So I was like, I couldn't figure out which way it goes. An absolute nightmare. I don't know if it's this particular model, as in this box was, you know, just miscast, shall we say, or if it's my bumbling around. I think it could be my bumbling around, in all honesty. But I've sort of put them together. It still passes as the model. It's missing the front hair squig. If I find it on the floor, I might glue that on afterwards. I'm not too happy about the position of the arm there. That's where the head's meant to sit, but the arm looks a bit, I don't know, a bit weird. You know, it looks like it's not, I don't know. The gun sort of fell down a little bit. It should be up a bit higher. Even though the gun hasn't moved itself, I don't know what's going on there. So I might just come afterwards and just glue this on afterwards. Just glue this over the top or something. Just, I don't know. I just think for now I should leave it to dry. I mean, that's not even on properly. The wire. I mean, it can pass, but it's not. I don't know. Even the foot's not even in. Oh my goodness me. Just one thing after another with this model. You know what, you're not even going to notice that on the base. It looks like it's wearing a massive slipper, look. So, it's a pain in the backside. I'm not happy with it, so I need to try and get it right. I know if I start doing that, I'm going to push it all out. So I can see it. Let me show you there. Let's see, it's not hit the foot properly. So, anyway, I'm going to go off camera and try and fix that. Thanks for watching. Hit the buttons for me. I hope my mess ups here have helped you some way. It's a pity because it's the first Ork model I've done for 40k in a very long time. I wanted it to be a special one for October. But I'm going to fix that foot, come back and show you some pretty pictures, and hopefully it's looking a bit tidier. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Right, so I've got the foot in. I'm going to put, I think this model's a misprint, to be honest with you. Now, we had this before with lead models. There was Great Demons, for example, the wings wouldn't connect properly. You'd have to snip bits off here and there to make them fit. They would have a bar across the back, and the wings have a little sort of rectangle bar, and the gap, and that gap sits on the bar, and it would never sit properly, and same with the arms. And the reason I say this is a misprint as well is because where his bag is there, that's on perfectly. That's meant to cover that gap. There's a tiny little gap. Let me get the scraper. There's a little gap in there. See it? It shouldn't be on show like that. I mean, it's not noticeable that much unless you pick up and look at it. See the gap? It shouldn't be there. Backpack's on perfect. Only sits in one way. It sits in one way and connects at the top here. So the two halves go together. So it's not. So I think this is a misprint. But with that said, after me frustrating myself out and stressing myself out, with that said, the foot's come out again. Bloody thing. With that said, I've put that on the arm. Just covered it over the top to cover up any mess ups up over here, and just make it look like some more cloaks hanging off of him, like furs. See, look at the foot there. Yeah. But this side, it's virtually in. Don't know why it's doing that. Sitting hold it for ages now. Anyway, guys. Oh look above that spear, just a little bit I missed. I'll get the clipper afterwards. Just there. As someone said to me, you paint a model and it looks great, fantastic, but you always bring it up closer than you need to, because it, 3 inches away it looks fantastic, but when you bring it up closer, we ask your mistakes. You don't need to do that. But when I'm doing things like this, Let's Build, I have to show you, things that are right, things that are wrong. I'm not happy with that. Look at that, it's still hanging out. I have to wait for that to dry, super glue. Then I'll come back in with the brush again, super glue, and just drop a bit in there, just to fill that gap. But anyway, on to the pretty pictures now. Even that, look. Even the top of that doesn't look like it is all in properly. It only goes one way. Anyway, guys, I'll brush in for pictures now. Thank you for watching. Hit the buttons for me, and I'll see you next time.